So when we're feeding the youth, we got to feed them with positive energy. We got to feed them with financial literacy. We got to feed them with humility. We got to feed them with a work ethic. We got to feed them with those types of things. We got to feed them with resources. We got to feed them with leaders who come into the communities and show them that anything is possible.
I'm Daniel and I'm Shohn, and you're listening to Our Stories, Our World. This podcast series, led by young people like me, features Chicago stories about public health, public safety, and public education. Each episode uses the power of a single personal photo to spark a conversation about what matters to our guests. The theme of this episode is public education. Shohn Williams is the Dean of Students at Lindblom Math and Science Academy. That's where I go to school.
I'm Mr. Williams, Shohn Williams. I'm the Dean of Students at Lindblom High School for about 14 years now. Originally from the Inglewood community. I also attended Lindblom High School. Graduated in 1999. I played basketball. I was the all-time leading scorer for Lindblom High School basketball. Got an opportunity to get a full basketball scholarship to Loyola University. From there, I had the opportunity to go play professional basketball in about 8 countries. And then I came back to Lindblom and got my master's degree, and I've been there ever since.
So the picture that you selected to share with us today, what's going on here?
Well, they're in the gymnasium. It was pre-pandemic. It was a community event sponsored through Nike, and they came in and partnership with us at the school, myself, and Real Man Talk and our wonderful Lindblom High School. And they were able to bring in T-shirts and offer financial literacy and basketball skill training at our school. It's a photo of a list of community leaders and our students in Real Man Talk, students of Lindblom, and also students at Mays Elementary. One of my good friends, Mrs. Nadra Ruff, was the assistant principal and now is the principal of a CPS high school. But she brought some students from Mays Elementary who were rewarded for good academic behavior and just being excellent, citizens throughout the school. And then I wanted not just the basketball players, but anybody that wanted exposure, because it was just more than basketball. They did life skills. They did some other different things. We had discussions about financial literacy. We had a group discussion in the gymnasium. It was a variety of different things. Any of our students that was interested in entrepreneurship, I tried to put them in tune with some of the people that spoke at the panel that specialized in that. So it was pretty cool. And then we also had Inglewood Barbie. She is a Inglewood activist. She came and spoke. She has done a lot of great things in the community. We had other celebrity guests. And most importantly, we had Real Man Talk. Real Man Talk is our mentoring program at Lindblom that me and Karen Fitzpatrick, our principal, started about 10 years ago. And we had Daniel along with so many other great kids there. So it was awesome.
So when you look at this picture and hear the term public education, what comes to your mind and why?
A lot comes to my mind. Having an impact on the students, giving the students a sense of hope, letting the students know, hey, I'm the same person. I came from the same community that most of you guys come from. I experienced the same obstacles. Single parent home, daddy was incarcerated 23 out of 57 years, on and off, 6 years here, 3 years there, 8 years there, 2 years there. I got 2 master's degrees, one in education, one in school counseling from Lewis University. Played Division I basketball. I got a 19 on the ACT. I wasn't the smartest guy, but I had a work ethic and I treated people with respect. And I have humility. And if a student can do that and they understand the principles of hard work, then anything is possible. So just letting them know that, never forgetting where you came from, neither. Because just as easy as something is given to you, it can be taken away. So never getting too comfortable, never getting too important, always understanding that your goal is to impact the youth, to impact the students, even when you're tired. It'd be mornings where I'd be so tired, man. I wake up, I put my K&G suit on, and I go to Dunkin' Donuts on 72nd and Ashland and get me a medium coffee, man, with 6 sugars and 3 creams. Hey, man, and I will do what I got to do because I know every day I got Daniel and I got so many other young leaders who looking up to me for my guidance and y'all know y'all need me. You know what I'm saying? Then eventually, I'm gonna build you guys up to the point where y'all gonna go and do great things, and then come back and inspire other great leaders to do great things as well. Do you know what it says on the back of that picture? It says, until we all win. We don't win until we all have to work together to build each other up. So that's when we actually win, when we build everybody else up. So where everybody becomes powerful, where everybody becomes, you know what I'm saying, able to lead, or able to help or contribute. So we have to build each other up, and that's huge. So that's what that meant to me, building each other up for greatness collectively.
So how often do you look at this photo?
Okay, I would say I probably look at it weekly. And I was also saying that my good friend, I've been telling her that I wanted to blow the picture up and put it in my living room, because it represents me, and it represents the youth, and it represents the community, and it represents hope. There's a strong, rich support at Limblom. We got several dentists, doctors, lawyers, and it's always almost turned into a family. There was a lot of people that gave us an extra helping hand coming up, especially with me not having a father. I had to rely on the park district supervisors. I had to rely on the deacons at the church. I had to identify people that I thought in the community were good people, and I would kind of just watch them, and they would kind of, just guide me at times. We've always had a nurturing environment where we had great leaders who cared about kids. They say every great leader is a great servant. So sometimes people look at the word servant as a negative connotation, but it's really a positive connotation. So just always staying humble, always having humility, always never forgetting where you came from. Also in that picture, something that was super, super, super cool is a lot of the kids threw up the peace sign. Did you notice that, Daniel?
Yeah.
That was super, super big. It's bigger than basketball. People don't understand that. It's the relationship that you build. It's the humility, the heart, the work ethic. It's just so many great things that comes along with playing the games, because we didn't have things like this when I was growing up. We didn't have a lot of resources like that. We played in the alley. We played on the milk crates. We used to carve a milk crate open, and we would turn it into a basketball goal. Like, we were extremely creative. Yeah, and we just had raw talent, but we didn't have a lot of resources. And I know a lot of times with raw talent, talent has to be developed, not just in sports, but in academics and in life. So when you plant something, you put the seeds down, you water it, and then you watch it grow. So bringing resources in allows those plants to be watered and allows them to grow. I always make the analogy of we got to feed them with 93 octane, high octane. We can't feed them with no 87, man. You put that 87 in the tank, man, and then that gas might not be bad, and then next thing you know, the motor start breaking down. You know what I'm saying? So when we're feeding the youth, we got to feed them with positive energy. We got to feed them with financial literacy. We got to feed them with humility. We got to feed them with a work ethic. We got to feed them with those types of things. We got to feed them with resources. We got to feed them with leaders who come into the communities and show them that anything is possible. So that's the 93. That's the high octane.
I just want to say thank you for giving us your time today. Yes. Thank you for being a great member of the community and just feeding the youth with that 93.
I thank you so much, man. Thank you, man, for being an awesome student. Thank you for being an awesome leader. Thank you for always being courteous and respectful to people. Thank you for taking the torch for me, man, to lead. Thank you for understanding that the world is yours. Thank you for always giving out 93 to your peers. And man, like, just keep doing what you're doing, man. Like, seriously, don't let nobody slow you down.
This has been Our Stories, Our World, a limited podcast series created by Chicago youth. Our Stories, Our World is brought to you by Public Narrative and APicture'sWorth. two nonprofits focused on community building and narrative change. Thanks to Shohn Williams for sharing his story, and to our story gatherer Daniel Animashan for interviewing and hosting. Our music was created by Chicago artist Malky. Our podcast artwork is by Dan McDonald Studios. Our audio producer is Brooklyn's own Samantha Gatzek. The executive producers of Our Stories, Our World are Alyssa Yancey and Mareva Lindo. That's me. Find our other episodes and detailed notes at APicture'sWorth.org/public narrative. If you enjoyed this episode, we hope you'll share it and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Support our work by making a donation at publicnarrative.org/donate. Tune in again in 2 weeks for the next episode of Our Stories, Our World. Thank you for listening.